Hello everyone, welcome back to Vyasa IAS CSAT course. Now in this lecture, we are going to see another class of percentages. See, there is a mistake in the schedule. In the schedule, I haven't included percentages. I have directly started from profit and loss. Okay. So, see, without percentages, we cannot do any of the chapters such as profit and loss or time and work. Okay, so we will not be able to do without doing the concept of percentages. So we will spend a good amount of time in the percentages, and then only we will move forward. Regarding other classes, see, we can extend 2 or 3 classes. Okay, we will be extending 2 or 3 classes because we want to understand the concept of percentages. So fine, let us start from the concept. Now see, um, I have told you yesterday a method in which we were calculating how there was change in percentage while a quantity goes from E to A to B and B to A. So, for example, I have given you the example that if, for example, the price of a commodity increases by 25%, so if the price of commodity was 100, it increases by 25%, so it becomes 125. And then when it decreases again by uh, if this consumption has to remain the same, that is the price that you are paying even after increasing the inflation, increasing the price of that commodity. If you want to spend the same amount of money, then you have to reduce your consumption. So you will reduce your consumption by how much? Okay, so it has to come from 125 to 100. So that means 20%, because this 100 is how much? 80% of 125. Okay, so reduce your consumption by 20% so that you have to pay the same price. So this is a kind of equation. Okay, that we are going from A to B and then from B to A. Okay, so see, when we are doing this thing in many questions, so we will not get the simple things such as that from 100 only you will have to increase. You will need other calculations as well. So let us see what are the other calculations we have to see. See, now you are going from A to B. Okay, look at this table. What we are trying to understand in this table is that if you are going from A to B and there is an increase of, let's say, 9.09%. Okay, then when you are going to going from B to A again, that is you are decreasing. So if you are from A to B, you are increasing by 9.909%. Then from B to A, you are decreasing by 8.33%. Okay, let me show you this concept. See, for example, 100 is there. Okay, I took A as 100. Fine. So what is the what will be 9.09% of 100? 90.9. Okay, and then you have to sorry, it increases by this, so it will be 100 9.09 will be 109.09. Okay, 109.09. So when this again has to go to 100, so from 109 to 100, you are getting 8.33%. Okay, you will get the decrease of 8.33%. So you can calculate this. What this will become? 9.09 divided by 109.9. Okay, 109.09. So this will be 909 upon 10909. Okay, so when you will divide this, you will get 8.33. Okay, you will get what? 0.833, and then you will multiply that. So this will become. So this is what I am trying to say, that instead of doing all these calculations, what you are going to do, you are going to see this table 2-3 times. Okay, you are going to use this table 2-3 times, so to as whenever you encounter these numbers in your questions, you can directly tell the answer. Okay, okay, fine. So see, when I am going from like A to B, okay, and I am increasing by 9.09%. Okay, so this will become what? A plus 9.09 times of A. Okay, 9.09 times of A. Fine, by 100 times of A actually. Okay, then you are again going to A, so then you will be decreasing by how much? 8.33%. Okay, so when similarly when you are like you are having 100 and from 100 you increase by 10%, then it will become 110 and then you again go to 100. So how much percentage decreases there? Okay, how much percentage decreases there? So obviously you will do what? 110 minus 100 divided by 110. From here to here, if you have to calculate percentage decrease, so this will be 10 by 11. Okay, 1 by 11. So this will come to be 9.09 only. Okay, you can check this. This will come to be how much? 9.09 only. है ना? This will become 99 and then this will be again 1. Okay, and then you will put more 0 here. Then for that you will have to put 0, then 9. Okay, then 99. So you will be getting, you will multiply this by 100, you will get how much? 9.09%. Okay, 9.09%. So I hope you are clear with this thing. All right, so let's see more. So if you are increasing from, if you are going from A to B and there is an increment of 11.11%, then your decrease will be how much? When you are going back from B to A, 10%. Okay, जब when 10% increase is there, your decrease is 9.09%. When 11.11% increase is there, your decrease is how much? 10%. Okay, similarly, when you are going up by 12.5%, you have to come back to the value again, then you will decrease by 11.11%. Okay, similarly when you will A to B, if you are increasing by 14.28%, then from B to A you will decrease by 12.5%. Okay, 12.5%. Then again you have this. Okay, then you again have this what? 16.66%. So when you are going from A to B, you are increasing by 16.66%. Then from going from B to A, from while going from B to A, you are going to reduce by 14.28%. Okay, by 14.28%. Similarly, when you are going from A to B and you are increasing by 20%, then when you are coming from B to A, you are decreasing by 16.66%. Okay. Similarly, when you are going from A to B, you are increasing by 25%, then going, you will decrease by 20%. Okay. You will decrease by 20%. Fine. And when you are increasing by 33%, okay, 33.33%, then while coming back, you will be decreasing by 25%. Okay. So see, if you remember, if you try to look at this, when you are increasing by 9.09%, then you are getting 8.33. Now we will put this here, so this will come 10. Now we will put this here, so this comes 11.11. Okay, put this here, this comes 12.51. Put this here, this comes 14.28. Put this here, 14.28. You got 16.66 and then 16.66 20. Then put this 20 here, you get 25. Then 25 here, then 33.5. Okay, and then if you are getting 33.5 here, then you are getting 50%. Okay, then you are getting 50%. Now we are not putting 50 here. Okay, now this ends here. Okay, now when we are increasing by 60% from A to B, then from going from B to A, we are decreasing by 37.5%. Okay, similarly, you can see this value. So some of the values are very important. Okay, for example, if you are going from A to B and you are increasing by 100%, then coming back from B to A, you are decreasing by 50%. है ना? No calculation required here. Okay. Also, this is also an important thing. When A to B you are going, you are increasing by 75%. Then from B to A, when you are coming, you are decreasing by 42.8%. Okay. So this figure, 50% when you are getting increased, okay, then coming back you are getting decreased by 33.33%. Okay, and similarly when A to B you are increasing by 25%, then from B to A you are decreasing by 20%. Fine. So this is all we have to do. This is all we have to do. So see, don't try to memorize this table. Take out this table in his screenshot. Look at this table multiple times. Okay. So when you are looking at the table multiple times, read all this. So this will get registered in your mind. Okay. Always remember that revision is the best form to remember things. Okay. Revision is the best form to remember things. You cannot remember at one setting. You have to make repeated revisions. Okay. You have to make repeated revisions. You have to engage with your material to remember things. Okay. So fine, let us move forward. Okay, let us move forward. Now see, this is a percentage conversion table. So basically, if there is a ratio and you want to know its percentage, so how will you find it? Okay, how will you find it? See, these are very important if you are giving any other competitive exam as well, and I would say you should spend some time here. Okay, see, this is the percentage table. So 1 is to 1 we have ratio. So that means 100%. When we have 1 is to 2 ratio, so that means 50%. When we have 1 is to 3 ratio, that means it is 33%. 1 is to 4 is 25%. 1 is to 5 is 20. 1 is to 6 is 16.66. 1 is to 7 is 14.28. 1 is to 8 is 12.25. Sorry, 12.5. 1 is to 9 is 11.11. Okay. 1 is to 10 का रेशियो क्या होगा? Obviously 10%. 1 is to 11 ratio is 9.09%. Okay. 1 is to 12 ratio is 18.33%. 1 is to 15 ratio is 6.66%. 1 by 16 is what? 6.25%. 1 by 20 is what? 5%. Okay. 1 by 4, 1 by 24 is 4.116%. 1 by 25 is how much? 1 by 25 is 4%. Okay, 4%. 1 by 30 is 3.33%. 1 by 40 is 2.5%. Okay, and 1 by 60 is 6.6 1.66%. Okay, so I hope you can remember this thing. All right, I hope you can remember this thing. 1 is to 1 we have. Okay, so what is this? 100%. 1 by 2, 50%. 1 by 3, 33.33. 1 by 4, 25. 1 by 5, we have 20. Okay, 1 by 6, we have 16.66. Fine. 1 by 7, we have 14.28. 1 by 8, we have 12.5. 1 by 9, we have this. Okay, so this is the ratio table, and percentage conversion can be done very easily here. So if you remember this well and good, है ना? So try to look up these values twice or thrice. Similarly, now you have this ratio. Okay, now we were talking about 1 is to 1. Okay, and then 1 is to 2 and ये ठीक है ना? तो अभी let us see here. So if 2 is to 2 is the ratio, you obviously know it is 100%. If 2 is to 3 is there, you know it is 66.66. If 2 is to 4, then it is 50. 2 is to 5 is 40. Okay, 2 is to 6 is again 33.33. 2 is to 7 is 12. 28.57. Okay, 28.57. So just double of this. Okay, just double of this. Then again double of this. 2 is to 8 is again double of this. Again this is double of this. Again this is double of this. So this is it's just doubling every time. Okay, it is just doubling every time. You can see that. Okay, so if you remember this, okay, if you remember 1 is to 1 to 1 is to 60 in percentage terms, then you can obviously calculate anything. Okay, so for example, if you have to calculate, let us say 2 is to 25. Okay, so if you know 1 is to 25 is 4, then 2 is to 25 is 8. Okay, 3 is to 25 is what? 12, because you know this is 4, so just multiply these numbers here. Okay, so you are getting, so 4 is to 25, you all you know it is 16. Okay, it is 16%. Okay, 5 is to 25, you know it is what? 4 into 5, that is 20%. Okay, 20%. So if you remember this table, okay, if you remember this table, at least this one, then you will be able to do this all. Okay, So see, sometimes it definitely helps because we will skip the calculation then. For example, if you know, okay, 1 by 9 is 11.11%. Now the ratio comes to be 2 by 9 and you are asked the percentage. Straight away write 2.22%, and if the ratio comes to be, let's say, 8 by 9, so you will write how much? 88.88% very easily. Okay, for 10 it is obviously easy. For 1 by 11, if you remember, it is 9.09. Then you know for 2 by 11 is what? It will be 18.18, and similarly for 3 by 11 it will be 27.27, and so on. So I hope you will see this. Okay, you will see this and you will become very comfortable with ratio and percentage conversion table. See what happens in the UPSC examination, because it is just a qualification examination, in the sense that you just have to get 66.66 marks, okay, 66.67 marks. So maybe the fast calculation may not be very beneficial for UPSC, because once you understand what the question is saying, then UPSC question does not require a lot of calculations. Okay, always say this. UPSC question do not require a lot of calculation, but you require an application of a lot of brain there. Okay, so but if you are giving any other examinations as well, which you should, because we have to be secure. Okay, so in that case, definitely these all calculation tricks can help you. So let's start with the questions. Let us see this question. We have this question in which it is saying that A sells his good 30% cheaper than B. Okay, so that means this A person is selling his good 30% cheaper than B. Fine. So how do we write this? And 30% dearer than C. Okay. So A is selling 30% dearer than C, and he's selling 30% cheaper than B. Okay. 30% cheaper than B. So let us see how we can do this. So let us take B's value as 100. Okay. Now A is selling 30% cheaper than B. So that means 30% cheaper is how much? 30% cheaper is 70. Okay. So this is 30% cheaper than C. This B is good. Okay. And this is what A. Now he is saying that they are selling 30% dearer than C. Okay. Sorry. Yes. A sells is good 30% cheaper than B. That we have did already. And he is selling 30% dearer than C. Okay. 30% dearer matlab this one is 1.3 times of what C is selling. Okay, this one is 1.3 times of what C is selling. Okay, so you have this. Okay, so 1.3 times of C is what? 70. Okay, 1.3 times of C is 70. Fine. So C will be how much? This is 13 by 10 is equals to 70. So that will be 700 by 13. Okay, 700 by 13 you will get. So definitely now you can find this. Now see, when this one is it is saying that it he sells 30% dearer than C. Okay, so that means this is 30% greater than C. Okay, that means this is 30% greater than C. That is the reason we wrote what, that this is 1.3 times of C. Okay, now it is asking by what percentage cost is the goods cheaper than B's goods. Okay, by what percentage cost? I think the C's good is cheaper than B's good. Okay, so let us find here by what percentage cost. Okay, um, so this will be how much? This will be 13. um, 13 will come how many times? 13 will come 5 times, because it will be 65. Okay, and this is 50. So this will come how much? Into 4 times. So this will be 3 fours are 12 and we have 1. This is 52. Okay, so 53 times you will get. Okay, so that will be 39 obviously. Okay, this will become 1. This will become what? 11. This will become 0. So you will have 13 point. Okay, 13 point something. All right. So this is 5. Okay, this is not this. There was a little bit of calculation mistake. This is it. This is going to be how much? 10, 1, 9, and this is 4, 1. Okay. So this will be 11 for us. Fine, and this will be 0 for us. So what will come next? So that will be, I think, 13 into 7, because 7 3s are is 21 and this is 92. Okay, so something 53.7 you are having. Okay, 53.7. What is 53.7? Your C. Okay, C is how much? 53.7. So overall percentage change is how much? Okay, what is the overall percentage change? Because it is asking by what percentage is the cost of C's good is cheaper than B's good. Okay, how much is C's good cheaper than B's good? So B is 100. Okay, what is the difference between this 100 and 53.7? Okay, I think you will get something 3, this will be 6, this will be 46.3. Okay, 46.3 into 100, so you will get this 46.3. Okay, yes, I think this is okay. So you will get this 46.3. I hope everybody is clear with this. Okay, I hope everybody is clear with this. See, what we did here was, he is saying, this question is saying to us, A cells is good 30% cheaper than B. Okay, we start with 100 for B and we C, means if it says 30% cheaper than B, then we have this what? 70%. Okay, 70%. So this will be 70. Okay, now this 70 is 30% dearer than C. So this 70 is means this is costlier by how much? 1.3 C. So you will write what? 1.3 C. Okay, 1.3 C is equals to 70. That means 70 is equals to 10 by 13. So this gives you 46 point something. Okay. And when this gives you, then that is the percentage, because B is 100. This is 53 point something and you have to calculate percentage. So change upon initial. So that will be your percentage change. So I hope everybody is clear with this thing. Okay. I hope everybody is able to understand this thing. Fine. Let us move forward. Okay, now look at this question, what it is saying. The question is saying the length and the breadth of a rectangle are changed by 20% and 10% respectively. What is the percentage change in the area of the rectangle? Okay, so you have length and breadth and that gives you area. Okay, so whatever will be the percentage change will be the percentage change in the area. Okay, now you have how much? This will become how much? Plus 20%. Okay, so this becomes plus 20%. So that means this L will be 1.2 times of L. See how I write this? When anything is increased by 20%. So it is increased by 20%. So 100 plus 20 will become 120. Okay. Or 1 plus 0.2 will become what? 1.2L. So I wrote 1.2L because यहाँ पे we had coefficient of 1. Okay. Similarly, in B we have one coefficient. So that way this B will become how much? 0.9 times of B. So area will become how much? 12 into 9, that is 108. So 1.08 times of B, 1.08 times of area A. Okay. Now That means earlier area was 1, now it became 1.08. Okay, so what is the change? 8%? 8% change in area. So that is how you can do this. Now there is another method of doing this thing. How you can do this? See, it is saying the length of the rectangle are changed because this is in the product format. So how we will do this? I'll keep this 100 here. Okay. So let us say that earlier the area was 100. Then it increased by 20% because of length. So this becomes 120. Now this decreases by 10%. Okay, so then minus 12. Okay, so this becomes how much? 108. So you have this plus 20 and minus 12. So that is how much? 8% change. 8% change plus 20 and minus 12. So 8% change. So this is so simple, guys. This is so simple. Okay. Now let's move forward. Now see, what this is saying, due to a 25% price hike in the price of a rice, a person is able to purchase 20 kg less of rice for 400. Find the initial price. Okay, find the initial price. So what this question is saying, that there is 25% hike in the price of a rice and a person is able to purchase 20 kg less of rice for rupees 400. Okay, so see, this is the same question we do when we talked about that whenever the expenditure increases by a certain point, how much should the consumption decrease so that the cost remains the same. Okay, so like we start from 25%. Okay, so we know that if there is 25% hike in the price and then it again come down to 100, then the consumption should decrease by 20%. The consumption should decrease by 20%. Now it is saying the person is able to purchase 20 kg less rice. So consumption is decreasing by 20%. So then you are purchasing 20 kg less rice. So 20 kg is equals to 20%. That means 100 kg is equals to 100%. Okay, so it is asking find the initial price of rice. So you are buying for 400 rupees, you are buying 100 kg of rice. That means initial price is how much? 4 rupees. Okay, 4 rupees. Now see, for 400 kgs you are buying 4 rupees rice. Definitely you can check also here as well because see, the price is dropping by how much? 25%. Okay, the price is rising by 25%. So initial price is 4 rupees. So after price rise, it would be how much? 5 rupees because 25% of 4 is 1. So you will add here. So this will become 5 rupees. Now 5 into, you have to subtract the consumption by 20. So 100 minus 20 is 80. So that becomes 400. So definitely you can check here itself whether your answer is correct or not. Okay. So definitely you can check here itself whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, fine. Now we move on to the next question. Now see what this question is saying. A's salary is 20% lower than B's salary, which is 15% lower than C's salary. By how much C's salary is more than A's salary? Okay, now you look at this. You have A's salary and this is 20% lower than B's salary. Okay, A's salary is 20% lower than B's salary. Fine. Which is 15% lower than C's salary. Okay, so we have this person C. Okay, I think this became too big. So we have this person C whose salary see, the question is saying A's salary is 20% lower than B's salary, which is 15% lower than C's salary. So B's salary is 15% lower than C's salary. So I take C's salary as 100 and 15% lower means minus 15. So I get this at 85. And this B's salary A's salary is 20% lower than B's salary. So again minus 20%. So that means how much? Minus 17. So the salary becomes how much? 68. So total change is how much? 32. Okay, now it is asking by how much percent is C's salary more than A's salary. So A's salary is how much? This 68, 32 by 68 into 100. Okay, now you can obviously calculate the percentage. This will be how much? 16. This will be 34. This will be 8. This will be 17. So 8 by 17 into 100. Okay, 8 by 17 into 100. So obviously you know what is the half of this 17? Half of this 17, okay, half of 16 is 8, है ना? And half of 17 is 8.5. Half of 17 is 8.5. Okay, so we know that this will be a little less than uh, 50%. Okay, this will be a little less than 50%. Fine. So let us write this as 49%. है ना? Because this will be just a little less than that percentage. Fine. So now you can obviously get this. Now let's move on. Now look at this question, what this question is saying. The cost of manufacture of an article is made up of four components A, B, C, D, which have the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5 is to 6 respectively. If there are respective changes in the cost of plus 10%, minus 20%, minus 30 and plus 40%, then what would be the percentage change in the cost? Now see guys, what this question is saying, that we have four articles A, B, C, D. Fine. And we have their ratio as 3 is to 4 is to 5 is to 6. So whenever ratio is given, so that means there is a factor x by which we can multiply these values. So they will give the original values. Okay. What this means is there is a factor x by which we can multiply these values. So it will give the original value. So that will be how much? 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x. Okay. Now see what I do here is I multiply this x, I take as 100. Okay. I assume this x as 100. So what I am getting the cost of the four components is, we have this A here. So I'll write this as 300. We have this B here. So I write this as 400. We have this C here. So I write this as 500. And we have this D here. So I write this as 600. Fine, fine. So what is the total cost here? This is 400 plus 600, that means 1000, and this is 800, so that means 1800. Fine. Okay. Now if the respective cost change by 10%, okay, if the respective cost change by 10%, so here it is saying plus 10. So that means 30 rupees will be added. It is saying minus 20. So that means minus 80 will be subtracted. It is saying minus 30. So that means minus 150 will be subtracted. And this means plus 40. So that means 240 will be added. Okay, so what is the net change? This is 30. So this is minus 230 and this is plus 270. So that means 40. So now you can calculate the percentage change in the cost. 40 divided by 1800 into 100. So that means this gets cancelled, this gets cancelled. This is 2 by 9. Okay, this is 2 by 9. And what is 2 by 9? Okay, sorry. This is not 2 by 9. I think we are mistaken. Okay, so this is 40 by 18. This is 40 by 18. So you know 18 into 2 times is 36. Okay, 18 into 2 is 36. Fine. So you can write this as 2 here. Okay, plus you will be left with 4 by 18. So that will be 2 by 9. And 2 by 9 is how much? I think 2 by 9 will give you 0.22%. Okay, so 2.22% you are getting, 2.22%. See, any factor you can take here. Okay, For example, if I take x is equals to 10 here, okay, let us say I take x is equals to 10 here. So what will I be getting here? A, B, C, D. So what will I be getting here? This will become 10. This will become, so this will become 30, 40, 50, 60. And what is plus 10% of this? 3 rupees. What is minus 20% of this? 8 rupees. What is minus 30% of this? Minus 15 rupees. And what is plus 40% of this? 24 rupees. If I add this all up, okay, if I add this all up, what will I be getting? I will be getting, this will be 27 minus 23. So that is 4. Okay, that is 4. Now that will be how much? This is how much? 180. And 4 by 180 into 100 is how much? Cross this. Okay. So you will be having 40 by 18. Now again the same calculation. How I did this? 18 2 is 36. So 36 divided by 4 by 18. Sorry, 36 by 18 divided by 4 by 18. We know this is 2. We know this is 2 by 9. So that will be 0.22. Okay. So now try to divide by this method. How do I do this? I break this into a viable thing. Okay, I break this into a viable thing. Fine. Now, guys, look at this question. What this is saying. It is saying Harsh receives an inheritance of a certain amount from his grandfather. If he loses 32.5% in his effort to produce a film, from the balance, a taxi driver stole the sum of 1 lakh and he used to keep in his pocket. That he used to keep in his pocket. Of the rest, he donated 20% to a charity. Further, he purchases a flat in Ganga apartment for 7.5 lakh. He then realizes that he is left with only 2.5 lakh cash of his inheritance. What was the value of his inheritance? Okay, what was the value of his inheritance? See what is happening here, that he is having some amount X and then 32.5% of that is um, in his effort to produce a film, he loses it. So how much is left? 67.5% of X is left. And from that, he loses 1 lakh more. Okay. So now it becomes what? 6. You can write this as 0.675 times of X minus 1 lakh. Minus 1 lakh. And now of this, the 20% he donated to charity. So what is 20% of this? Okay, so left will be how much? 80%. If 20% is donated, the left is 80%. So 0.65x into 0.8 minus 1 lakh into 0.8. Okay, and then of this, he further purchases a flat in Ganga apartment for 7.5 lakh. So if you minus 7.5 lakh from here, how much are you going to get? 2.5 lakh. Okay, how much are you going to get? 2.5 lakh. So see, if you do this such a lengthy procedure, the calculation is so much cumbersome. How we will do this? We will go just the reverse in this question. Okay, either way, we'll go just the reverse. What are we going to do when we are going to do the reverse? Okay, what are we going to do when we are going to reverse? See, he is left with 2.5 lakh cash. है ना? And before this, what he did? He bought an apartment of rupees 7.5 lakh. So he must be having how much before that? 10 lakh rupees. Okay, 10 lakh rupees. And see, they are saying of the rest he donated 20% to charity. Okay, so he was earlier having he's having 10 lakh rupees. Before 20% of this was donated to charity. Okay, 20% of this was donated charity. That means this 10 lakh is 80% of something. Okay, this 10 lakh is what? 80% of something. है ना? So, how much it will come? So, x into 0.8 is 10 lakhs. So, x is equals to 10 into 10 divided by 8. So, that means how much? 12.5 lakh. X is how much? 12.5 lakh, fine. Now from this 12.5 lakh, before that 1 lakh rupees got stolen. So he had how much? 13.5 lakh. See, we got up to here, 13.5 lakh we got. Now this is saying from this balance of this he loses 32.75 money. So abhi kya hai? We had 13.5 lakh rupees. Okay, we have 13.5 lakh rupees. Now see what happens here is that he says he loses 32.5%. So that means 0.675% was left, and that is equals to how much? 13.5 lakhs. So this now x is how much? Now 675 into 2 if you do, this will come to how much? 2 5 are 10, this is 7 2 are 14, 15, and this is 13. So you have 135. So basically, if you multiply this, okay, if you multiply this, है ना, by 2, so this will come to be 20. So x will be equal to how much? 20 lakh. So this is the answer. So instead of going like directly from the beginning that he loses 32.5 lakh money, then 1 lakh money to the driver and so on, you start doing backward so that you get substantial digits that you can work out with. Okay, so I hope everybody is clear with this thing. Now let's move forward a bit. Okay, we move forward. Now see, look at this question. Um, what is this question saying? According to a recent survey report issued by Commerce Ministry, the government of India, 30% of the total FDI goes to Gujarat and 20% of this goes to rural areas. If the FDI in Gujarat which goes to urban areas is 72 million, find the size of the FDI in the rural Andhra Pradesh, which attracts 50% of the FDI that comes to Andhra Pradesh, which accounts for 20% of the total FDI. Okay. See, so what we are going to do here, that it is saying that um, some amount of FDI is coming to Gujarat. Okay. And then 30%, sorry, some amount of FDI is coming to India. Then 30% of it goes to Gujarat. In Gujarat also, 20% goes to rural areas. Okay. And 30%, no, 80% of this will go to urban areas because अगर 20% it is going to rural areas, 100 में से 20 जाएगा, so we are left with 80%. Okay, Andhra gets how much? 20% of the total FDI. Okay, Andhra gets how much? 20% of the total FDI. So this comes to be how much? 50. It is saying 50% of the FDI that comes to Andhra Pradesh goes to rural area. Okay, so rural area means 50% goes to urban area as well. Fine. See now what we have to do here. Let us start with 100, that we got $100 as FDI. So 30% of this goes to Gujarat means that means $30 goes to Gujarat, and of these $30 you have 80% of this $30 going to urban area. So that means $24. Fine. Now this 24 is similar to 72 million here, and this is x. So what I can do is 100 by x is equals to 24 by 72. So that means this is 3 and x is equals to 300. Okay, so I am getting the total FDI that is coming to India as 300 million. Okay, I am getting the total FDI that is coming to India as 300 million. Now you have to find what? Andhra Pradesh rural FDI. Find the size of Andhra Pradesh rural FDI. So this is 20% coming. So that means 60% is coming to 60 billion is coming to Andhra Pradesh, and this is 50%. So that means 30 million is going to rural Andhra Pradesh. So you can write 30 million as your answer. Now see what, if you want to check it, okay, if you want to check it whether your answer is correct or not. So you are taking 300 million. That means 90 million goes to Gujarat. 30% of 300 is 90 million goes to Gujarat. And of this 90 million, 80% goes to urban areas. Means how much? 72 million. Okay, 72 million. And that is given in the question. So that means we are getting the correct answer. Okay, you can tally here itself. Fine. So I hope you understood this concept. Let's move on to the next concept. Now look at this. Uh, Look at this question. See, this is just a warm up for a percentage question. The food and the beverage unit of PepsiCo India produces 1 lakh chips. Okay, 1 lakh chips. If each packet is being sold at 10 rupees and the cost of raw material is 1 per packet, the cost of manufacturing and labor is 2 per packet. Okay, the maintenance and marketing cost is 1 per packet and 10% taxes are being on the selling price of the packet. Based on this information, answer the following question. What is the percentage profit of the company at the end of the year? Okay, so what is basically happening that you are selling 1 lakh chips, fine, 10 rupees per bag, fine. So the cost of raw material is 1. Okay, the cost of manufacturing and labor. Okay, the cost of manufacturing and labor is how much? 2 per packet. Okay, and the marketing cost is 1 per packet. So total cost becomes how much? 4 and 10% taxes. So 10 rupees per 10% tax means we have 1 rupee. So that is 4 plus 1, that is 5 rupees. Fine. And your this packet is sold in how much rupees? 10 rupees. So selling price minus cost price divided by selling price is equals to profit. Okay, is equals to profit into 100 करेंगे तो profit percent we will get. So we'll get this selling price is 10, cost price is 5 divided by 10. So we have this 5 by 10. So that means 1 by 2. That means 50% profit. Okay, that means 50% profit. Fine. So you can put here the profit that you are getting is 50%. Okay. Now see, let us move to the next part of the question. Now see, this, they are saying you do one thing, the government increased taxes from 10% to 20%. Okay, and the cost of raw material also increased by 100%. Then the percentage increase in selling price per packet of chips to maintain the same profit would be. Okay, to maintain the same profit would be. So you this goes from 10% to 20% and the cost of raw material increased by 100%, then the percentage increase in selling price per packet of chips to maintain the same profit would be. Okay. Now see, if we are getting this increase from 10 to 20%, what? Our taxes. So let us take X as the new selling price. So after taxes, okay, how much in the tax you are paying? 0.2 times of X. Okay, 0.2 times of X. And what is the cost of raw material? Now see, cost of raw material increased by 100%. So now raw material cost is 2 plus 2 rupees. Manufacturing cost is plus 2 and marketing cost is, let's say, plus 1 because that is given in the question. So we have 5 rupees as the making cost. There we have 5 rupees as the profit. In the earlier question we were getting rupees 5 as the profit. That is being asked in the question, that you have to maintain the same amount of profit. Okay, so this will become how much? This is, so see, what is the selling price here? Okay, what is the selling price here? Selling price is X. Okay, selling price is X because we have already taken that the government increased taxes from 10% to 20%. So X ka 20% we have taken. So that means we have taken the selling price as X minus what is cost price. Cost price is 5 plus 0.2 times of X. Okay, 0.2 times of X is equals to how much? 5 rupees, because earlier we were having the profit of that much only. So X minus 5 plus minus 0.2x is equals to 5. So that means 0.8x is equals to 10. That means X is equals to what? 12.5 rupees. Okay, x is equals to how much? 12.5 rupees. I hope everybody is okay with this explanation, how I did this question. Okay, this was a very simple question. We are just warming up to the percentages concept. Fine. I think we have one more question here. What is the question saying? The price of raw material has gone up by 15% and the labor cost has also increased by 25% of the cost of raw material has also increased from 25% of the 25% of the cost of raw material to 30% of the cost of raw material. By how much percentage should there be a reduction in the usage of raw material? Okay, so now see uh, what it is saying to keep the cost same. Okay, now what was the cost? Uh, the cost was 5 rupees. Okay, the cost was 5 rupees. Fine. Now it is saying the price of raw material has gone up by 15%. Okay. Okay, let us say the price of raw material that is 100. Okay. Acha, it is asking us to keep the cost same. Okay. So price of raw material has gone up by 15%. That means uh, earlier the price of raw material was 1 rupee. Okay, now the price of raw material is 1.15 rupees. Fine. The labor cost has also increased by 25%. Okay, earlier what was the labor cost? Okay, see labor cost was 2 per packet and marketing cost is 1 per packet. Okay, so see guys, look at this question. What this question is saying, the price of a raw material has gone up by 15% and the labor cost has also increased from 25% cost of the raw material to 30% cost of the raw material. By how much percentage should there be a reduction in the usage of raw material so as to keep the cost same? Okay, now see what this question is saying. Let us assume that raw material cost was rupees 100. So if there is 15% increment, okay, so there how much is the increment in the cost of raw material? 115 it becomes. Now see what it is saying, that the cost of labor cost has also increased from 25% cost of the raw material. Okay, so 25 rupees was the cost of raw material and now it has become 30 rupees to the cost of raw material. Okay, 30 rupees to the 30% of the cost of raw material. So 30% of what? 30% of this, I think है ना, 30% of this. So 115 30% you should know. Okay, so that will become how much? This is easy to calculate, not that big a thing. This will be 30 by 100. So that will be what? This will be 15, this will be 4, and so this will be 34.5. Fine. Uh, Now it is asking by how much percentage should there be reduction in the usage of raw material so as to keep the cost same. Okay. So now see 100 became 115. Fine. And see original cost was 125 rupees and um, the final cost was how much? This much. Point 0.5, that is 149.5. Okay, 149.5 you are having. The final cost. Okay, the final cost. Okay, so original cost you were having 125, now the final cost you are having 149.5. Fine. Now see, um, it is asking by what there should be a reduction in the usage of raw material so as to keep the cost same. Okay, so देखिए लेबर का चार्ज तो कम नहीं कर सकते है ना, we can't decrease the labor charge. So what we will do is whatever decrease we will do, that we will do in the usage of raw material. Okay, so that means this price should again come to 125. Okay, this price should again come to 125. So what is the reduction we need? Okay, so obviously this is what 149.5 minus 125 divided by how much? 149.5. Now this is what, this is you are having I think 24.5 divided by 149.5. Okay, now this 24.5 will come to be how much? Okay, this 24.5 will come to be how much? We have to just calculate this and then we'll get our answer. Okay, so we have to just calculate this and then we'll get the answer. So let us calculate. Okay, let us calculate. We got how much? Sorry, sometimes the pens go a little delayed. Okay, so we got this as how much? 24.5 divided by 149.5. Okay, so see 150 ka toys you will have how much? 300. Okay, 150 ka toy, sorry, 149.5 ka toys you will have how much? This will become 1. This is 18, 19, and this is 4289. So you will get 299. Okay. So how we can do this? 245 divided by 1495. Okay. Now what is half of this? Half of 10% of this is how much? 149.5. Okay, 10% of this is 149.5. How much more is left? Okay, so that much you can do. So I think a little over 7%. So this is 10% and this is a little over 7%. So answer will come approximately equal to 17%. Okay, answer will come approximately equal to 17%. So I hope everybody gets this, what we were doing in this question. Okay. I hope everybody gets this. Now look at this question as well. What this question is saying to us. Okay, so it is saying that there is a flask and there is a beaker and we transfer some water from a flask to the beaker. Okay, and then